They told us civilization started with farming, but what if that was never true? What if everything we thought we knew about human history is completely backwards? In the dusty hills of southeastern Turkey, a place was found that doesn't just rewrite the timeline of human history, it smashes it. Göbekli Tepe isn't just old, it's older than the wheel, older than writing, older than the pyramids, and older than any known city. It's a temple built by hunter-gatherers, before farming even existed. And that changes everything. For centuries, historians believed that civilization followed a specific path. First, humans farmed, then they settled, then they built temples and cities. But Göbekli Tepe flips that story on its head. How could people with no cities, no farms, no written language, and supposedly no civilization build something so massive, complex, and mysterious? If temples came before farming, then maybe everything we thought we knew about human development is wrong. So let's break this down and look at why Göbekli Tepe is shaking the very foundation of archaeology and forcing scientists to rethink how civilization really began. The discovery that changed history. In 1994, a Kurdish shepherd named Savak Yildiz was walking his usual route in the Sanliurfa province of southeastern Turkey. His sheep wandered up a stony hill, just another mound in a landscape filled with them. But this one was different. He noticed a strange-shaped rock sticking out of the earth. That rock turned out to be the tip of a massive stone pillar, one of dozens buried beneath a hill that would come to be known as Gobekli Tepe, which means Potbelly Hill. Soon, German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavating. What he found stunned the world. The site was no simple campsite or farming village, it was a temple. Massive stone pillars, some weighing over 10 tons, arranged in rings. Elaborate carvings of animals, foxes, lions, birds, scorpions, snakes covered them. And get this, carbon dating showed it was 12,000 years old. That's 7,000 years older than Stonehenge, and 6,000 years older than the pyramids. This wasn't just the oldest temple ever found, it was twice as old as the next oldest. So the obvious question is, how? Who built Göbekli Tepe? Let's go back to 9,600 BCE. According to everything archaeologists believed before this, humans back then were still hunter-gatherers. No agriculture, no permanent settlements, no tools advanced enough to move massive stones or carve detailed reliefs. And yet, they did. Göbekli Tepe is proof that humans at the time were organizing large-scale construction projects, working together and creating sacred spaces long before farming or writing came into play. Think about what that means. These people weren't just surviving, they were planning. They had a shared vision, a religion, maybe even complex myths and beliefs. It completely messes with the idea that religion and organized belief came after farming. Göbekli Tepe suggests the opposite, that spirituality may have come first, and farming came as a result of needing to support a growing spiritual community. The temple's strange design. Now let's talk about what's actually in Göbekli Tepe. There are more than 200 massive stone pillars arranged in circular enclosures. Each pillar is about 10 to 20 feet tall and weighs up to 20 tons. That's as much as a truck. Two central pillars usually stand in the middle of each ring, often facing each other. Some archaeologists think these may represent deities or ancestors. The carvings are intense. You'll see snakes and scorpions, symbols of death or danger, vultures, possibly linked to the afterlife, foxes, which might have represented tricksters or spirits, human-like figures without faces. What's weird is that these carvings are deeply symbolic, not just decorative, and they show no signs of everyday life. No hearths, no trash pits, no homes. This wasn't a village. It was something sacred, a purely ceremonial site. Which brings us to a mind-blowing possibility. Göbekli Tepe might be the first example of organized religion. If true, this means humans were gathering in large numbers, not to farm but to worship, to celebrate, maybe to bury their dead. Klaus Schmidt believed that these temples may have actually caused the agricultural revolution. Think about it. If you need 500 people to build and use a temple, you need to feed them. And you can't feed them with random hunting trips. You need reliable food. That's where early farming comes in, not as the cause of society, but as a result of it. In other words, religion didn't come after agriculture, it sparked agriculture. That's a total reversal of what we've always been told. Here's another strange twist. Göbekli Tepe wasn't destroyed by time or invaders, it was buried on purpose. Yep, each circle was filled with dirt and rubble intentionally, like they were trying to hide it. But why? Some theories say it could have been part of a ritual burial, retiring a sacred site. Others think it might have been hidden to protect it during a crisis. climate change, war, or a cultural shift. Either way, whoever did it made sure the site was preserved, not ruined, which is why we're even able to see it today. Was it built by a lost civilization? Some people, especially outside mainstream archaeology, think Gobekli Tepe might be evidence of a forgotten civilization. A group that existed before all known cultures, wiped out by a disaster, like the Younger Dryas impact theory, a sudden ice age triggered by a comet strike around 12,800 years ago. Supporters of this theory point to advanced skills shown in the carving, alignment of the stones with celestial bodies, and similarities with other ancient symbols found around the world. It's controversial. Mainstream scientists are cautious. But it's got people asking, did humans have advanced knowledge way earlier than we thought? One of the most debated parts of Gobekli Tepe is its astronomical alignments. Some of the stone circles may align with constellations like Orion or Sirius. Certain carvings, like a vulture holding a sphere, may represent sky maps or celestial events. One researcher even suggested that a carving on Pillar 43 depicts a cosmic impact, possibly the very comet that triggered the Younger Dryas event. It's still debated, but if true, it would mean Gobekli Tepe was not just a temple, it was an observatory too. A missing piece of humanity's origin story. Here's the real reason Gobekli Tepe matters so much. It forces us to rewrite the origin story of civilization. It shows humans could organize spiritually and socially before farming. It suggests religion may have sparked society, not the other way around. It proves that 12,000 years ago, humans were capable of massive collaboration and symbolic thought. It raises the question, what else have we missed beneath the dirt? Gobekli Tepe isn't just an old building, it's a message from the past, and we're only starting to decode it. We weren't supposed to be this smart that early. Let's be real, this is what freaks archaeologists out the most. Because according to the textbook version of history, the people who lived around 9,600 BCE weren't supposed to be able to do this. They were supposed to be wearing animal skins, throwing spears at gazelles, and living in small, mobile tribes. They weren't supposed to be building massive stone circles, organizing hundreds of workers, or carving 3D animal reliefs into stone. But Gobekli Tepe is there. It's real. You can see it. And it's not just about the technology, it's about the mindset. The builders had vision. They had shared beliefs. They had something big they were trying to express. So here's the real kicker. Maybe intelligence isn't linear. Maybe we didn't just slowly level up over thousands of years. Maybe ancient people were always smart. They just had different priorities. The site isn't even fully excavated yet. Here's something most people don't know. Only 5% of Gobekli Tepe has been uncovered. That's right, 95% of it is still underground. Archaeologists are taking it slow on purpose. The area is fragile and mistakes could destroy thousands of years of history. But what that means is, the biggest discoveries may still be hiding beneath the surface. And here's something even crazier. There are other sites nearby that might be even older. Places like Karahan Tepe and Navali Kori are part of a massive network of early stone temples scattered across southeastern Turkey. These weren't isolated builders, this was a whole culture. And yet, there's no name for these people, no written records, no mythology that survived. They existed and then they were gone. Why did they disappear? So if they were so advanced, where did they go? Why did the builders of Gobekli Tepe vanish? There are a few theories. Climate change. Around 8,200 BCE, the Earth went through a sudden cooling event. Droughts, famine, and migration might have wiped communities out. Cultural shift. As farming took over, priorities changed. People started building villages instead of temples. The old way of life may have just faded away. Spiritual upheaval. Some archaeologists believe a new belief system may have emerged. Old gods replaced, temples abandoned, new ones never built in the same style. Catastrophe theory. The fringe theory says some kind of disaster, natural or cosmic, wiped out this proto-civilization. Whatever the reason, the builders of Gobekli Tepe disappeared, and the world forgot them. The key moment isn't just when Gobekli Tepe was discovered, it's the moment when history stopped making sense. Because once this site was carbon dated to over 11,000 years ago, the whole house of cards started to shake. What other truths are buried in plain sight? What other civilizations might have existed and vanished without a trace? Gobekli Tepe isn't just a new chapter in our story, it's like finding out the entire book starts earlier than we thought. It's not the final answer, it's the first question. And we're only beginning to understand just how deep this rabbit hole goes. So let's sum this up, plain and simple. Gobekli Tepe is over 12,000 years old, built long before farming, writing, or cities. It was created by hunter-gatherers, but somehow features complex architecture and deep spiritual symbolism. It wasn't a home or village, it was a temple, a sacred gathering place. The people who built it buried it on purpose, leaving it behind like a sealed time capsule. It flips our entire understanding of human progress, showing that religion may have sparked civilization, not the other way around, and it might not be alone. Other sites like Karahan Tepe suggest this was part of a much bigger ancient culture we barely understand. This place asks us one massive question: what if we're not the first advanced civilization on Earth? If you enjoy our journey, please like and subscribe to our channel, and if you like our content and want to support me, you are welcome to buy me a coffee. The link is in the description box below.